MiniBrute 2S here. I've been wanting one of these since they first came out. In fact, the MicroBrute was the first modern synth that I ever got. Now, I have the Korg 700. I've done a video on that, done a couple videos on that, or I will do videos on that. I mean, I'll probably do videos constantly on that. I mean, it's a great synth. It was Korg's first synthesizer. The Korg 700, it was Korg's first synthesizer, and but it was a vintage synth, and it was very lacking in features. And so, yeah, my first true modern synth, I guess you could say, was the MicroBrute, and I loved the thing. I loved the heck out of that. I had so much fun with it. I know a lot of people don't like it. You know, there's a lot of complaints about how metallic sounding it is and etc. And it's like, well, it's literally got a metalizer on it. I mean, I think that's kind of the whole point. So I think maybe people miss the point on that. It's like, if you don't like the sound of a synth, then don't get it. Play something else. It's like they're not all going to sound like Moogs, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand when people complain about the sound of a synthesizer. I mean, they all have their own character. They all sound different. And that's kind of the whole point, right? You don't want every synthesizer to sound the exact same. And then, I mean, what's the point at that point, right? I mean, why bother having so much choice, right? But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I decided to get one of these basically for its Eurorack modularity. I mean, that's kind of one of the selling points, is that this is integratable with Eurorack, you know. And, you know, I've been buying the Behringers. If you've been watching the channel at all, you see, or if you go back in my history, yeah, they've really democratized the whole thing. There's no reason to not get a synthesizer these days. I mean, you could afford it with just, you know, couple months, you know, saving money or whatever. So it's just been awesome. And, you know, and it's also been kind of insidious as well. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's kind of a smart move, you know, a smart marketing move on Behringer. And, you know, obviously Arturia is involved with it. And then, of course, you know, the whole modular community is just insane. I haven't quite gotten down that rabbit hole yet. I'm still, you know, holding out a little bit, but probably not for much longer, because one of the cool things about this MiniBrute, obviously, if you've looked into it at any at all, you see that it's got these two, well, we'll look at it when it comes out, obviously. But it's got a way to mount a Eurorack case, basically, with the power strip and everything inside. So, with the power rails and whatnot. So, it was meant to be Eurorack compatible and be integrated into a modular system. So, you know, as I've been picking up all these other this other gear that's modular, you know, Eurorack capable, it kind of became obvious to me that I needed to have some kind of central brain to control it. And one of the nice things about this is the sequencer. Anyway, I'm totally getting ahead of myself. Let's just, maybe we should open it up. Yeah, and then, you know, afterwards, I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit, I guess, you know, maybe I'll play a little bit. Now, this is interesting. It's got a case, so maybe I should not rip this. I try not to rip my boxes anyway. I try to keep all my boxes just because you never know when you need to pack things up and move. So let's see how this works here. Let's slide this out here. There we go. Okay. This is kind of complicated with the camera here. This thing's so big. Oh, there we go. Oh man, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, I see. Okay. This is probably jacking with the camera right now. Whew. Let's try this. Maybe I should have done it the other way in the first place, huh? Making things more complicated for myself. I don't need to. There we go. Oh man, look at this. Oh yeah, they got all the instructions and stuff. Maybe I should make a copy of this, print it off or something. Well, you don't need that. I mean, it's just kind of basic stuff, isn't it? Yeah, I know what an oscillator is. Very cool. I'm definitely keeping it. Looks like the serial number's there. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to show that online. Put that over there. All right. Man, this is so exciting. Now, I've heard a lot of bad things. Not a lot of bad things, but I've heard some bad things about the MiniBrute. You know, a few things, but I think some of the limitations are they're far outweighed by the features. So I'm not too worried about it. If there's any haters out there, I apologize, but I am not a hater. Definitely a fan of Arturia. Ooh, there we go. Let's get this coming out of here. Woo! Oh, I see what it's doing. Let's see this. Get this over here. And let's cue the angelic choir. Oh, man. Look at that. Oh. Wow, it's bigger than I guess I maybe thought. Obviously, the box size should have gave it away, but okay. Definitely need a power supply. And that's very nice of them in case I decide to travel around Europe or elsewhere with my MiniBrute. I'll have all my power needs covered. So that's always convenient. Oh, cool. Yeah. So they, yeah, okay. They're the cloth kind. I saw this online. I was wondering if that's cloth, but that is. It's, I don't know. Take a look at that. It's like a cloth covered cable, which is neat. Excuse me. All right, so let's get this thing out. Oh man, I can't wait to smell it. There's something about new electronic smell. It's probably bad for you. It's like industrial, toxins and whatnot. But I'm not sitting there huffing electronics all day long every day, so it's not like it's gonna probably do too much to me. I hope not. Anyway, oh man, okay. All right, let's do this first because this is going to get real awkward real quick. I need to get this out. Man, look at that. Ooh, before I get to that, let's just look at the paperwork that it comes with. My God, yeah. Arturia's been really great about their packaging in general, but also, the books that their products come with. I mean, they don't skimp at all. The nice thing about Arturia is that they really do supply a lot of great packaging, unlike a lot of other companies, where they'll just throw in like minimal documentation, expect you to go online and download the PDF or whatever. Arturia is like, they don't skimp on the paperwork. So that's cool. They got the cookbook, chef's recipes. I mean, that's what you need for something as complex as this synthesizer is. It really is helpful to just have something right out of the box and, just to get you going, right? So that's really cool. I really appreciate that they do that. So I'm going to take this thing out. I'm going to move this box out of the way so it's not messing with my flow here. Pulling this thing. Oh man, of course I've got a problem. I only have one hand. I need two. Here we go. Let's put that down there. Put that right there, and we'll move this right here. And we'll get this box out of the way and put that off to the side. Okay. Oh, man. I like that. They didn't put tape on this bag either. I could just pull it right out. That's nice because I might, if I need to store it or, convert this into a dust cover. I've said that before. What was there something? Oh, okay. Of course, the silicone packet just fell out. Always important to have silicone packet and store your electronics with one so that you don't get moisture in there and ruin any of the components. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Man, that's beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I think I've got one of the newer ones with the red legending. I think the first ones when they first came out, it was blue. And yeah, I don't know why they changed it. I have to look that up. I kind of like the blue, but I mean, I don't hate the red. It's just a little bit harder maybe to see. I think it kind of looks a little harder to see maybe from what I remember seeing in the older ones with the blue legending. It seemed like it popped out from the black background a little bit better. But God, look at this thing. It's gorgeous. Oh, of course, I got to smell it. Oh, yeah. New electronic smell. Oh, man. Beautiful. Gorgeous. 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 Oh, man. Yes. I can't wait to get this thing fired up. Sometimes I like to leave these plastic protector strips, the protective plastic. On some things you can get away with that. It doesn't really get in the way of the functionality, but it looks like to me in this case, I might have to take it off. It's just going to look kind of weird. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's take it off. Take it all off. Yeah. Wait, what kind of video is this? I think it just turned into a different type of video. Sorry about that. This is PG. Actually, it's G. This is rated G. unless that comment just made it PG. Sorry. Anyway, so let's get going on this. Yeah, solid buttons, feel pretty solid. Now, these are pressure sensitive and velocity sensitive, if I recall. The knobs feel pretty solid. Now, one thing on the knobs. Now, this, I will go on a little bit of a rant here. I love Arturia, I do, but I feel like I'm a little bit disappointed with them lately. So, in anticipation of getting this, so I've got a drum brute. I've got the original Arturia drum brute, not the compact one, which I think is the only one that's available. I don't think that the drum brute is available anymore. But I got it when it first came out because I'm a big drum machine fan. I've got lots of drum machines, and I've collected them over the years. And I will do a special on drum machines one of these days. I'll drag out all my old 90s drum machines, and we'll go through a comparison of all of them. But anyway, I got the drum machine. I'm a sucker for drum machines. I love drum machines, so I got their drum machine. And, love it or hate it, it's not about that. It's whatever. It does what it does, and it's great. I love it. But, I got it. I hadn't played it in a while, and I got it out in preparation for this, to play with this, and the knobs were sticky. Oh my God. And I've did a bunch of research online. I'm not alone. I know all you out there, right now are like, yeah, what the hell's up with that? It's so stupid. Why would you make knobs that turn sticky in like 2 or 3 years? Like, that just doesn't make sense. And it was a big miss on Arturia's part. I'm sorry, Arturia. Bad quality control. I know you guys are making these in China, but maybe you need to go back to your manufacturer over there and, have some conversations with them, because I think they slipped in some crap product for you guys and didn't let you know. And of course, you're not going to know for like 3 or 4 years. And at that point, well, probably too late, right? Kind of like for a buyer, obviously, of your products, like, it's too late for me to take it back. I haven't inquired with Arturia yet, but they are pretty good about their support. I know that because one of the other reasons why I've been kind of disappointed with Arturia lately is, the new Collection V or Collection 5 or whatever it is. I guess it's Collection V, the latest one. They're adding MPE, which is MIDI polyphonic expression, to their synthesizers, their virtual synthesizers. However, like, more than half of the synths in that whole collection, it's not really MPE compatible. I mean, it is, quote unquote, but there's so many bugs that it doesn't really work. At least not with my MPE controller, which my MPE controller is the Linstrument. I'll do a video on that at some point. It's a great, fantastic instrument, lovely instrument. And it's, I think, kind of one of the first ones that came out, and Roger Lynn, obviously, everybody knows Roger Lynn. So the guy is meticulous as hell. He built it like a tank. I mean, he's 100% to the specs. He knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, though, the Arturias, they have, and it's not just with the Linstrument, it's just with a lot of different MPE controllers. The Collection 5 synthesizer, VSTs, they have a lot of bugs, and they're virtually, for me, unplayable with an MPE controller, which is really super sad, because I don't feel like there's enough products out there that implement MPE yet. And when Arturia said that they were going to implement MPE in Collection 5, I got so excited, because there's like nothing that I can imagine that would be better than playing, say, a Prophet 5, right? Or, a Jupiter 8 with MPE compatibility. Like, that just blew my mind. But of course, once I tried, it didn't work, because it doesn't work, and it's such a bummer. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that Arturia, I feel like what they're doing, though, I don't think that it's like malicious on their part. I think what it is, like, they're a great company. They have great products, as you can see here. And of course, the Collection 5 on its own. MPE out of the picture is an amazing package of VSTIs, but I feel like they're just going for quantity over quality these days. They're just busting things out left and right. And maybe I think they're going too fast. Arturia, I think you guys need to slow down, focus on quality a little bit, work out the bugs before you release stuff. And I think, you'll definitely have my patronage forever and ever. But looking at this, it looks like the quality is good. I mean, I can see just like shining in the light, and I probably won't be able to get this on the camera, so I'm not going to try. But you know, there's some bumps around the buttons. Like there's maybe some metal, not stress, but metal imperfections, you know, from the sheet metal. But you know, no one's going to really look at that. I mean, as long as it works electronically, that's the most important thing. Although I will say, going back to the sticky knobs, there's a lot of solutions out there to replace them, and they're not cheap. I think to replace the knobs for like the drum brute for sure. I think it takes like 40 normal knobs with the indicator, and then there's a handful of the rotary encoders that don't have an indicator. It's like almost $100. And I think that's what probably this is going to run me as well. So, I mean, I've located a few sources online, you know, look it up. Maybe I'll put some links down there. I can't really speak to their quality. I haven't bought any of them yet. Maybe I'll do a video on that at some point. But I'm going to have to replace these knobs. If these are like the drum brute, in 4 years, I'm probably going to have to replace the knobs, because there's nothing worse than trying to grab one of these and it's sticky and it's got hair all over it. It picks up lint and dirt and hair, and I am meticulous about maintaining my equipment. So when I see hair and stuff and I can't get it off because it's greasy, it just drives me nuts. And then when you touch it, it gets on your fingers, and who knows what kind of toxic stuff that is. I mean, who knows? But then you start pushing buttons, and then you leave that residue on your buttons and your sliders and everything else, and it's a mess. Like, why would you want to have knobs that literally melt on you? It just blows my mind. So Arturia, if you're watching this, please do something about that for future products, and I hope to God that these do not do the same thing. Yeah, I will probably do a video with the combination of the drum brute and the MiniBrute together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Certainly going to hook this up to my semi-modular system that I'm slowly building. And, you know, one of these days I'm definitely going to get the, what's it called? The rack brute. And I love their naming terminal. I'm not even sure where brute came from. It's kind of funny. And they're French. So I don't know. Isn't it supposed to be just B-R-U-T? Isn't that French? B-R-U-T? But they put the E on there. I guess they're being nice to the English speakers. Because maybe they're worried about people pronouncing it Brute. The MiniBrute 2, the MicroBrute. Anyway, I'm going to get the rack brute. Probably going to get the dual stack one, because I'm really, you know, I feel it pulling at me, man. The whole modular world, that it's like a black hole. I'm feeling the gravity well more and more. Especially the more of these kind of products that I get that are modular, Eurorack compatible. So let's plug this thing in. Let's see how it sounds. I mean, I know how it sounds just from watching the videos, other videos online, but I've not experienced it myself. I have not played it ever. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so which one of these do I need to use? Is it this one? I don't remember. Right, throw those in. I could probably use those. Whoop. You can use those for another time. Throw these over here. And it's funny. It's a semi-modular system, and your power supply is modular. That's pretty cool. It's just modular all around. That is neat. Okay, so let's put this in here. I think I'd do this. Yeah, you gotta... Pretty sure. Here we go. Just snap it in place. Ooh. Snapping it in place there. Oh, wow. That is nice. Look at this. I don't know if you see that on the camera. This is actually a really nice cable. It's nice and long. A lot of cables you get, especially with some of the other brands of synthesizers that are out there on the market, they don't give you a nice long cable. I mean, it is a wall wart, right? Everybody hates wall warts, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't really mind them that much. I mean, as long as you have enough power supplies or power strips and surge protectors, whatever, they do become unwieldy for sure, but they don't bother me too much. Okay, let's turn it on and see what happens. I'm so excited here. Ooh, look at that. So beautiful. Man, so colorful. What a great color scheme. What a beautiful synthesizer. I'm so excited. All right then. So let's put this off to the side, get that out of here, and let's see what this thing sounds like. Ooh, it's like right out of the box. You can hear it right out of the box. I love it. Right out of the box, you get sound. That's pretty awesome. Yes, of course. You know, I'm not a huge fan of these in terms of playing melodically. They work in a pinch, but you know, they're not too bad for sequencing music, you know. But you know, honestly, I've gotten to the point now where like I've got a lot of synths with keys, and you know, I've gotten to a point now where I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm fine with the desktop. You know, I've got MIDI controllers. Yeah, I don't need more keys. They're not consistent between brands anyway, and they just take up more space. And if you got a good controller, you don't need one, especially because they, you know, they do the mini key size stuff, and you only get like 1 or 2 octaves. At that point, it's like, well, what's even the point of even having keys? I mean, the desktop system is perfectly fine for me, and especially for this one. Like the big appeal for this is the sequencer, right? Because the sequencer on just the MiniBrute 2, it's basically just an Arturia key step sequencer, which, you know, it works, it does its job, but it's not like, it's nothing to write home about, right? As they say. So this is awesome because you've got the 4 tracks, right? Pitch, gate, velocity, and pressure, sensitivity. But these 2 can double up as additional tracks for automation. Like you can basically make these into LFOs. You can automate parameters. It's pretty powerful. And as I'm sure some people have seen, if you haven't, then go check it out. I probably will do a video at some point on that as well, once I wrap my head around it. Yeah, I've seen plenty of videos. I have a good idea how it works, but you know, I'm not going to do it now because, you know, with anything, you need time to kind of let things bake in and get familiar with it. You know, so I wouldn't even try to attempt to go through it. But I'm pretty familiar with the way it works, and it's pretty powerful. It's pretty amazing. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's get a good sound going here. This is a global tune. Brute factor. Oh my God, I missed that on my MicroBrute. LFOs here. So we've got our 2 oscillators. We've got VCO1 and VCO2. So let's just get, yeah, so that's oscillator 2. So let's just get oscillator 1 going. I'm going to turn off all this. So yeah, so basically you've got, and this is a beautiful thing. Not every synth does this, obviously. You know, you've got several different waveforms you can choose from, but you can mix them all together. So I have a sawtooth there, but I can also bring in a square, and I can also bring in a triangle, and I can also bring in noise. Ooh, right? So that's cool. You have the ability to select each one individually, which is nice. And then, of course, you have these modifiers up here, which do different things to the sound. And that's one of the things I loved about the MicroBrute was just that whole architecture. I mean, for such a, like on a small synth, it's pretty cool. Behringer, the Octave Cat, I should say, and then the Behringer Cat reissue or clone. It's the same thing. You can blend the different waveforms together. So it really makes it a lot more flexible. I mean, rather than just being stuck with these kind of basic, you know, same old run of the mill wave shapes, you've got the ability to combine them into new things. So, okay, so yeah, so that's the oscillator. So let's do the filter. Got our filter here. All right. I see. Okay, so it's routed to the AD envelope, which if you read Sound on Sound, Gordon Reed said it was not actually an AD envelope. It's I believe an ASR envelope. He's probably right. I mean, that guy's a genius, but when it comes to synths, for sure. But yeah, so attack decay. So this is apparently what's controlling oscillator 1. Makes sense. So, okay, that's right. That's right. It's routed to this. You can reroute it up over here, obviously. So you got your AD. You could pull in something else to be controlled by this, but the filter is controlled by the ADSR. Oh, yes, exactly. Okay, so then that's also can be broken over here. Obviously, you can reroute things. I don't know if I'm going to get into that. That's that's a video on its own. So, but that's what's going on there. So let's go ahead and okay, there. It's controlling release. So then you got loop. So I can. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit. Get a little bit of sound in there. I mean, all that just one slider already. I'm in like noise heaven. Oh God, I love that. Okay, so enough of that. So here's our saw. FM. Ooh, we can do a VCO2. We can fold that back in. Some FM. Nice. So we got glide. I wonder if they should have done something else here, like the MiniBrute. They didn't really line these up, so it's a little. You gotta go staggered, right? So saw, you get to. It's a little confusing because it's not like right over it, but so basically the ultra saw does some crazy stuff for you. Controlled by the LFO. Different waveforms in your LFO, of course. So that's cool. All right, so now we've got the square wave, and that is, of course, controlled by pulse width modulation, which is controlled by the LFO1. As you see, the red says what is controlling that knob currently. You can change it over here. Of course, it's a monophonic, so you can't play any insane pads or stabs or whatever chords with that. That would be pretty cool, actually, to hear that with polyphony, to hear like several notes stacked with that. I got maybe some manufacturing junk. Oh, then just went in that little crack there. I'll have to get that out. That's annoying. Anyway, so here's the triangle. And then, of course, that is controlled, I believe, by the metalizer, right? Yeah. So it's just kind of staggered a little bit there. Oh, man. I don't like it. It sounds metallic. Yeah, it's called the metalizer. That's what it's supposed to sound like. There it is. Okay, so velocity is what is controlling the modulator for that. Nice. Okay, so there's that. And I do like this, that you can route other waveforms into the metalizer over here. Where is it? And I'm excited about that. I can't remember if you could do that with the MiniBrute or not. It had very limited patching capabilities, the MiniBrute. But in any case, you can metalize, quote unquote, any of the other waveforms, which is very cool. Okay, so we got VCO2. Oh no, I like this too as well. I think you could do. I think you could do this with the MiniBrute as well, like bring in external sounds. which I had a lot of fun doing with drums. I've got some really great drum sequences where I'd bring in the external audio on the MiniBrute and do all sorts of wacky craziness to it. And that's another thing that I'm so excited about with this, is that this is like times 10, right? With all the patching capabilities and all the other functionality, sequencer, etc. I'm looking forward to doing some great external audio mangling on this stuff. So looking forward to that. Okay, let's listen to the filter. Let's do the saw. Let's check out that filter. So I'm a big fan of the Steiner Parker filter, and I'll tell you why. And, you know, again, this is another subjective thing, and you're going to hear people say the opposite and complain about whatever. I mean, everybody's got their own preference, basically. My preference is I like filters that don't drop the sound, or especially the low end, as you raise the resonance. But if you look at a lot of filters, you start raising that resonance, the bottom just drops out. And a lot of times the whole volume of the entire waveform it starts to lower. It's a little bit annoying. I mean, you don't want to have that kind of a drastic sound change when you're trying to do smooth, like in performance or whatever, and you're trying to do some smooth transitions and whatnot. You know, it really does kind of suck when your waveform just kind of like disappears. It's like as you raise up the resonance, you know, it'd be like this, like, oh, it's like, where did it go, right? You have to turn things back up, and then you get your resonance, you know, like you'd normally get, but you have to turn things up. So you have to basically turn two knobs at once. Whereas the Steiner Parker filters, I like them. I think they sound fine. You know, but what I really like about them though is that as you raise up the resonance, it doesn't get rid of any low end, or the volume doesn't drop at all. So I really love that about those. Oh man. That sounds like a proper filter to me. I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. All right, let's go it all the way up. Oh, man. Okay, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. I will do a follow-up video where I go into a lot more detail on this, but as I said before, I'm going to have to spend some time with this thing and get to know it, as you would with any new gear. So, but I like to do that in private. When I get intimate with my synthesizers, I like to do it in private. And I'm not going to videotape. Again, remember, this is a PG. All right, well, yeah, it's PG now. It was G. But I can't go any higher. We're going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.